Hello people who cannot sit at home, thank you so much for joining me. So this video was so much fun to make and do. It's all about heading to an ostrich farm, getting an ostrich egg, and yeah, trying to cook it. So first we went to an ostrich farm. This is called Ostrich Land, Ontario. It is sort of kind of where Hamilton is, in that vicinity. I'm gonna link down the location of the farm below. So actually, before I head right into the farm visit, I should mention that what I did a month ago is that I booked an egg, ostrich egg. So this was $60. It was actually the small one that I got, but it was actually fairly large when I got it. So I don't know how big is the biggest one over there. And I reserved it. They need about a month or sometimes longer to have it be lined up for you, I'm guessing. And then I actually emailed after about a month and they said, oh yeah, it's ready to pick up. Before heading to this farm, actually, what I did is I did book a feeding of the ostrich experience, which is only $10 per person, and that's why we are here today, to pick up the ostrich egg and to do the experience of feeding the ostriches. You come in, I think it was at 1 o'clock on a Saturday. Usually it's the weekends that you can do this experience, and they give you like a jar with feed, the ostrich feed, and off you go. They do give you a bit of a kind of, they show you how it's done, and it's a little intimidating at first. Oh God. But then you realize that they're actually pretty chill. They only care about the food. They're not going for, any of our clothing pieces or glasses. All of these guys are, I think, about a year old. They are fairly, I don't know if it's, I think it's a mix of boys and girls. They're all fairly young, even though they are huge. And yeah, these are the ones that you feed. It takes about, I think it took us about 15 minutes to feed them. And it was so much fun. Highly recommended. The farm also has a farm tour, which is $20 per person, where they take you, kind of around the farm and tell you about the farm. By the way, the legs of the ostriches are so cool. I think I read somewhere that they're like the descendant of the dinosaur or something like that. So that's why the legs are so funky. When we were at the feeding, we looked around and we actually checked out the turtle. Behind the ones that we were feeding, there are babies. Right across from the ones we were feeding, there are the elder kind of generation. I think that's a male. The big black one with really thick legs, those are males, and I think females are gray. So this is again a boy. And yeah, he was just standing right across from where we were feeding. So this is not really the farm tour, but it's sort of like, well, they're right there. So it's kind of all part of the feeding experience. We also saw a cute bunny. When you go kind of near the area where the house is, the main house that they live in, there's a bunch of chickens, there's again bunnies. It's pretty hilarious. They're very lively. There are geese. And even an alpaca, actually two of them. So they have like a brown one and they have a blonde one, a number of goats. The alpacas were definitely very adorable, wanted to kind of interact with us. That was interesting. And we actually ordered an ostrich pie. It was actually really good. It's an extra fee, but do ask about that because it was actually really yummy. Here's the egg. We are very happy. On the way back to the city, we kind of, because we drove around a little more, we actually stopped around at Maria Tortas. We didn't book it, just kind of stopped. We really enjoyed it. It's a really nice Mexican place, kind of near the farm. Highly recommend when you're there. Very kind of authentic and nice Mexican music. And here's the plate. I think it's a bowl and tacos. So when I got home, I actually didn't cook it right away. I put it in the fridge. And the egg, as I understand, can be in the fridge for as long as a month. It will be okay. But I had this kind of contraption. I had this plate, and then I had a smaller bowl, and then I had this scallop plate at the top. So I thought, what if I put an egg on the top when I hopefully fry it, and I put different kind of dips and kind of pieces of food at the bottom. So we have a bit of a afternoon tea kind of setup. So here's all of the stuff I was gonna make. It was a bit of basically everything that I was kind of researching. I was like, what are the nice breakfasty egg foods? Definitely mushrooms, so I fried up mushrooms with some onions. I don't know what this is called actually. Can somebody tell me what this is called? But it was excellent. It looks so yummy. It looks so cool, so I wanted to have that. I basically wanted to have fruits, vegetables, and some kind of meat, bacony kind of stuff. So I have over here sausage rolls that I got, the ones, you know, the pre-frozen ones that you put in the oven. I definitely got a lot of bread that we can hopefully dunk the yolk into it. And here is the egg, getting it out of the fridge. Now, of course, being very careful, but it is pretty sturdy. First, I needed to make sure to wash it. So the thing about washing it is that it's not washed when you get it from the farm, because that actually preserves the egg's freshness. And here I'm showing you the size of it. So roughly an ostrich egg is an equivalent of 24 normal eggs. It's pretty ridiculous how huge that thing is. Now, when it comes to opening, I'm going to show you two ways of opening. This is, I think, the cooler way because you get to see the, well, we'll see, but you get to see the full yolk and its beauty. And I'm going to show you another way later on. So first what I did is, and I looked at a bunch of videos online too before doing this, I kind of scarred a circle at the top so that we have a bit of a, like a guide. And then with a knife, and it was a corrugated knife, you know, the ones that has like the little indents, because that helps to kind of break the shell. I was kind of tapping into it, and over here, pretty much, so yeah, some tapping, and then I was trying to kind of flick it up. And it actually worked really, really well. I was very surprised, and not a lot of shell. I was really worried that the shell would get in, but not a lot of shell got in. But as soon as I opened it, of course, the liquid started to come out. I wanted to tell you about my new Weekend Getaways road trip journal. This just recently came out on Amazon. It's one of my books. It's all about weekend getaways, and I'm gonna link all of the information down below. And I also have, of course, my regular Ontario road trip journal, which is the spring and summer for daytime tripping, and my fall winter if you would like to go on a day trip in fall or winter. So here is the beautiful look inside. Look at that bubble. It's like an air bubble. So cool. It was just like, ah. And the egg is gorgeous. Definitely looks fresh. Looks really good. Notice none of the shell is in there. Very good, because I was kind of taking the towel and trying to wipe it off as I was going. And here's the hard part. I was very worried over here that the yolk would break. And yep. I still thought that I did break it, but nope. It was intact. I was blown away that we were so lucky to get it out without breaking it. So here's me very happy. And inside looks really cool. Look at those lines. So to fry it, that was a bit of a challenge. So I did some research, and everything pointed out that I should scoop out the whites of the egg, because it was just too much. It would be, unless I bake it, it would not be ideal. And I wanted to fry it so that the egg yolk is nice and gooey. Anyway, it was pretty hard to get the whites out because it kind of is very gelatinous. So it took a while, but here is what I did. I separated a bit of the egg whites, and here is what I'm going to be frying. The egg whites I just put in the fridge because we're going to do it later on, just for breakfast and stuff like that. I put it at first on fairly hot heat, and then I was like, oh shoot, we don't have any oil underneath it. And as it started to cook more, I was able to lift it up and put a little bit of olive oil under the egg so that it doesn't fry too much. And I also lowered the stove a little bit here, and I kept on kind of going at a low heat. And I think I overdid it because I didn't want it over here. I think I overdid it because it was already, it literally was like a minute difference. And anyway, I'll show you how it looks like on the inside. Here's the look of the plate. Let's just have a moment for all of the little foods that I did over there. We have fruits, we have vegetables, we have some meats over there, basil, bacon, some cheeses, some crackers, lots of bread. It was actually a lot of fun. I got my parents to join in on me with this because, you know, I didn't want to eat it all by myself. And here's the egg. Looking amazing. I wasn't sure if it was going to be gooey on the inside or not, but when I opened it over there with a fork, yeah, definitely a little overcooked. But on the other hand, if it's overcooked, it's, you know, more on the healthy side because, you know, we're making sure that with the heat, you know, there are no issues. So do I wish that it was a little more gooey? Yes. But on the other hand, maybe this is the better way to kind of go about it. It's for sure cooked. The taste of it was amazing. A very, very creamy. That's really my best way in terms of difference between the regular egg and this egg. And now let me just show you another way of opening it. This was actually done from the same farm. I got this egg about 5 years ago, and we just did the drill method. So you take a small drill, then you take a bigger drill like size, and I think we did about 3 of these different sizes of the drill, and making sure to get all of the dust out, by the way, too, because you don't want it to be inside. So you keep on drilling. You drill this hole. Over here we had a brush to kind of brush it away. And then you take a needle. We had this huge needle. I think it was my mom's knitting needle. And you break the yolk. And then you flip it and you just kind of keep on pushing and the goo comes out. And you keep on pushing and you keep on pushing. And you can see the yellow is already coming out. The yolk has been broken. This was actually really hard. We took turns. It was my mom, then me, then my mom, because it actually took a long time. I think it took about 40 minutes to get everything out. Then we took a blender and we blended everything for smooth consistency. And then we took some cheeses. We took tomato over there and just separated it. We didn't cook the whole thing on a smaller pan and just fried it up. Put some dill on there, and it was a lovely, beautiful dish. It's just another way of how to open an ostrich egg. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely, if you're in Ontario, make sure to go to the Ostrich Land, Ontario, get your egg, have so much fun cooking, experimenting with this. And if you're not in Ontario, see what other ostrich farms are in the area that you can do the same thing with. I hope you enjoyed this, and please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you next time. Bye.